Evening. Gonna let everybody in. Good evening, everyone. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, good to see you all again. Hey, Coach. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Oh, hold on.
Okay. I'm just gonna, if it's okay with your
Okay,
permission.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, and the recording is in. I didn't know if you wanted the AI meeting notes in the meeting because
Let
we
me see
already
if I
got
can
it
get my mic
recorded.
together.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me? I know you had tried it before. Good evening. Hi, Miss Jackson. Welcome, everyone.
Hey, I've been trying to get in. 5:50, I couldn't get in.
Oh no, I was there waiting. I didn't jump in because I know it would start recording. So maybe I should jump in next time so you're not waiting.
Oh
But
no, it's fine. I don't know. I keep using the same link. Sometimes it just keeps saying ask to join, like it was trying to connect.
oh, okay, good. Because I was sitting out there a little early myself, but I was like, oh, I start the recording. So I think Coach has left, but he's gonna come right back. I think he was trying to get his audio outfitted.
Yeah.
Hi, Miss King. Good evening.
Hello, how are you guys doing tonight?
Excellent. I miss you guys Monday, and I'm going to be here for a short time tonight. I hate
Oh,
that.
I missed you too.
Awesome. Can you hear me, Coach?
Testing
Can you
one,
hear?
2, 3. Can you hear me, Jamise? Check your
Yes,
ears. You
I
can hear me.
can. I
I
can.
can't hear nobody.
Oh no, I hear you, but you can't hear us.
Uh-oh.
Hmm. I'm sorry you're having
And
trouble
there we
there.
go. There we go. I can hear you now.
You can? Okay, wonderful.
Okay. Okay. I'm glad you guys can hear me too. I was thinking, was it me?
We heard you the whole time. Well, at least I did. And I'm not gonna. I want to make a brief announcement that before we get going, I do have a conflict in that I have a coaching session tonight. This is kind of like one of my clients that we had a referral from that can only meet after 6. So I'm gonna scooch, but they'll have me on Monday all the whole time because I know you'll be traveling. So I wanted to just share a brief announcement if I could, or if you'd like me to wait a minute or two.
Actually, it's not this Monday. It's the 20th.
Oh,
The
okay.
24th.
I'm jumping the
So
gun. Okay.
yeah,
You see me
yeah.
already and primed. Okay. So no
I see
worry.
you. Yeah.
See how excited I am, Coach. But if you want me to wait a minute or two, I can. I just have a quick little announcement that I need to share with the group.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
well, good.
great.
All right. So I'm excited to announce that you are the cohort that's officially our inaugural cohort for our partnership with the Urban League. So we're excited to launch this. Yeah, where are my reactions? Let's get this going. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, I was trying to do it myself. So because of that, those of you all who are in Cobb County, this course is going to serve as a precursor to have an opportunity to participate in their pitch contest. And I say there because they're the ones that have the funding. And I think I may have mentioned to some of you, if not at the beginning, we do have a client that won the pitch contest who was working with the Urban League. Her name is Jamia Morrow, and she has Breakthrough as her business, which is a mental health organization. And I think one of the clients, I think Ms. Washington, and I agree that she's going to be partnered with Jamia because she has a mental health facility so they can share best practices. But as a result of being included for the training to be to vie or try to be a part of the pitch contest, you will have to get onboarded through their very seamless process. And that's just so that they can track your progress with us and approve you being in the program for the Urban League's pitch contest. So with that, you will receive an email. I have already provided your names so that they have the names there available. And you don't, it's not a have to, it's just something that would help us be able to track your progress, also be able to have you take advantage of the partnership. I was so excited that everything went through because it's a win-win. Your learning journey is continuous. So with that, you're going to get an email and I'm going to put it in the chat. It's going to come from, you don't have to write it down. Let me put it in the chat here. And Coach, if you can include it in the follow-up as you always do, it's itsd@mbda.com. And that is just to make sure we have your information so we can track your progress in this course and you can be positioned for being a viable candidate for the Urban League's pitch contest. And this is for money. So it's not a dolphin, it's more of a shark. And that's going to be coming up later on this year. So I'm excited that this cohort will be a part of it. I just wanted to give y'all a heads up that you're going to receive an email from itsd@mbda.com. Welcome and congratulations on being a great part of this opportunity with Greater Wealth Works. Thank you, Coach, for letting me share.
This is huge.
Thank
you.
This
is so huge. And I say it's huge for a couple of reasons. I'm going to mention the first one, the main one, is that this continues to give you opportunities to present your business to so many people. No matter if you win, whatever the prize might be or not, there are going to be other people in the room listening to your business. That gives you more and more experience talking about how you are a hero or looking to be a hero, but so many people that need your businesses, your services, and your products. So just like the market day that we're going to have at the end of this course, that's just an opportunity for you to start experiencing, for those that haven't done a lot of public speaking and talking about your business. It's just one step or many steps of becoming bigger and better of explaining your business to others. So I just love that.
Thank you, Coach. And I had a question. A Discord link. Could they resend it? Did you receive a link already?
Yes, I received the link, but it when I went in to go do it, it said it was expired, but I had only got it like an hour before that. So
okay. So I will share that with our friends because I asked them to let me announce it tonight. They probably did it a little early. What time was that, Ms. King?
Let me see.
And it may have been earlier when she sent me an email and I told her to please wait until I could announce it tonight so you all could look for the email later.
Yeah.
And you could just put in the chat. I apologize for interrupting because I'm going to jump to my console. So thank you so much again, Coach. Congratulations to you for leading the charge on this inaugural opportunity. It's a win-win-win. Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. Take care. There's going to be another opportunity. We're working on something called the Micro Lending Conference sometime this year. And during that conference, for those that participate, that will be another opportunity to not only get funding or get some funds for your business, but again, to show others. It's going to be in the audience, wherever we actually have it at. Something about your business. So I'm just so excited about 2025 for all of us, particularly all of you. So good stuff. All right. So today is an exciting day of training where we're going to be talking about your competition. How do you articulate your competition in your business plan section? I say it's exciting because I'm going to have the opportunity to show you all a database that some of you, or maybe most of you, if not all, are not very familiar with. It's called Data Axle, Reference Data Axle. And so at the end, the majority of the class is going to be taken up by us going on to that database, and we're going to be leveraging your industry number for your business to find your competition. So we're going to do that after we get over the information about who your competition is, who you should consider as your competition, what should you know about your competition, and things like that. And then we're going to go ahead and get into the database. All right, so here we go. Let's see, it's 6:10. Yeah, so here we go. Let me make sure. I think someone's trying to get in. Okay, Annette, you have a question real quick?
Yes. Is the industry number the SIC code?
Yes, I'm going to actually talk about that. But the industry number is your standard industry code. There's actually two. I'm going to explain both of them. One is called your SIC code, which is the main one that I'm going to be working with. But there's another one that you should be familiar with, and that is your NACSIS code, your North American Industry Classification System code. And how you can get that is once we go on the database, once they show you your SIC code, they can also show you your NACSIS code. Now, again, I get into all of that. Once you know your SIC code, you're never going to forget it. It's going to be something almost like your Social Security number. You're going to know your codes and other codes that you might end up needing as you expand your business at some point. So here we go. All right, it's loading. It's taking this to load. All right, I think we're there now. All right. So again, always glad to have you all here on this Wednesday. And okay, so today we're going to be again talking about competition research, researching your competition. Just like marketing, I think the next thing after marketing, before you do your budget, need that. Understand who your target markets are, so that you can market to them in an appropriate way, which we talked about last week. Then after that, I think it's important for you to know who your competition is. Why? So that we know who they're currently selling their products to, what is it they're actually selling, why are they selling it, how much money, revenue might they be earning, to inspire you and also to continue to give you encouragement that there actually is a market opportunity. So we're going to be talking about competition research and industry information. What you should know about your industry overview. At some point later on after the class and deeper into your business plan, there's an area that's going to be called industry overview. We talked about a market need overview, but going even more in depth is what's going on in your industry. And we want to make sure that you see an example of the information that you would want to know about your industry, even though it's not going to be anything homework related for you regarding that or market date information. We still want to make sure that we're building those business muscles of yours and you understand the additional things that you need to know about your industry so that you can be very efficient and productive in how you decide to promote your business offerings. All right. So again, today, this workshop is going to show you how to strategically determine who your competition is and what are you going to write and articulate on who your competition is. Let's see real quick. I think someone's trying to, is there a question out there? Oh, okay. Someone's trying to get in. Okay. There we go. So today's agenda, we're going to review really quickly again what we talked about on Monday, particularly the financial six fingers. I know toward the end of the session, I kind of went a little fast, so I just want to review that once again and why understanding your financial six fingers are important to your business development as you are starting to walk toward the vision where you're trying to take your business. Your financial six fingers will be important to that. So we're going to review that again to get started. Then we're going to talk about your competition profile. How do you articulate that, and what are the questions that you need to answer to determine who your how to do your profile? We're going to understand what is competition. Why is that important? Who should you consider your primary and or your secondary competitors? Real quick, as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, your industry overview. Why is that important? What is a SIC code? How is that helpful and will be helpful too as you grow your business? And then, like I said, we're going to get into Reference USA, which is actually the former name. I always kind of stick to it. They've changed their name to Reference Data Axle. But if you were to go and do some Google searches, like I put in my email to you all on Monday night, if you were to go on YouTube and put in Reference Solutions or Reference USA, you may get some additional video on how you can use the database. So again, the purpose of that is to inspire and motivate you by doing this research. And so I think after tonight, most of, if not all of you, will be trying to find more information out about your competitors. So here we go. All right, so your financial six fingers, the acronym that I like to use is SCIGMOR. This talk about your new sales as finger 1, your net change as finger 2, what we call your invoicing your customers as finger number 3, your gross margin, that's the GM in SCIGMOR, your gross margin, the amount of money that you really want to earn after you deduct what it costs for you to provide your goods or services, your gross margin. We want our margins to be high. And then that's finger number 4. Finger number 5 is your overhead. Those are expenses that we want to try to keep down, but we need to measure those things. So we want to try to keep it as low as possible. Gross margin up, overhead down. And then the final area is your receivables, that golden thumb. Do you have money coming in? How can we measure that? So the reason why we talk about those areas is because we want you, as you start to grow your business muscles, to continue to focus on the factors, focusing on the factors that impact your potential profit. And those factors that are clearly linked to your operation, how you do and conduct business. So we focus on factors that we can measure. Every one of these items we are focusing on because at some point you have to measure your operations or measure your results so that you can make some changes if the results are not exactly what you want them to be. And if they are what you want them to be, make some decisions to maybe make them even better the next month or next quarter or the annual year. So when we're talking about your new sales, what we're mentioning is you have a vision. We talked about your vision on day 1, class session 1. We're actually session number 2. Where do you want your business to go? How many locations might you want to have? How many employees might you want to have? How many customers might you want to have? Maybe even how much money you want to have as you accrue year to year for the next 2 to 3 years. Well, in order for us to do those, to figure those out, you end up going to put together a budget. You want to have a certain number of sales every month of February. You're going to want to have a certain number of months, if not the same, a little increase in March. Same thing in April and May and so on and so forth. Well, you will have to get into at some point when you start running your business, for those that are not currently in business or running it, you want to make sure that we start putting up your goal of measuring what you budgeted to do versus what you actually did. What's the difference, and why did you make or did not make what you budgeted? In addition to that, once you have the second month in, you want to measure how you did from month to month. If you did not do as well the next month after maybe a successful month, why? Maybe there was, if you did really well in January and didn't do as well in February, maybe it was because it was only, 28 days in February. So you lost a couple of days. That could be the reason. Maybe it was because there was so many holidays or not enough holidays in a particular month. Maybe there was some reason why the store had to shut down, or maybe you had some issues with the online. Maybe you had a down day for for being online. Your website was down, but you have to figure out what were the reasons for not either making our budget, or what was the reasons why we did make our budget or even did extremely well. Know what those reasons are so that you can either duplicate what you did or make some decisions to do better. But that's new sales. Net change is similar, is a reason how we're going to measure that. Sometimes we want to measure it based on how many customers you had. Net new sales talk about the revenue that's coming in, but net change typically is talking about maybe a change in customer contacts, or maybe even net change in how many prospects you went after. But we also want to measure that from month to month, week to week, day to day, however you want to measure, whatever that time frame is. We want to measure it and be consistent so that you can make decisions. At the end of the day, every one of these items is so that we can help you get to the vision that you're trying to reach in 2 years or in that 3-year period. Invoicing. You want to measure how many invoices that your company is providing to your customers. That's important as well, right? We may have people come in and look at the menu but never buy. There's never an invoice opportunity, meaning your marketing may have worked to get them and get your attention, get them to get attention of your business. Maybe come into your business or contact you or go on your website. That's what marketing does. But marketing does not make them buy anything. Marketing may be an influencer, but at the end of the day, your sales approach, how you talk with them, what you might have on your menu, that's going to help get the sale, right? So we want to make sure that when sales happen, that means an invoice has to be provided, and you want to measure how many invoices you're giving out in month to month or week to week or annually, however you decide to make that decision, that measuring decision. Then gross margin, we're talking about again what you make after you deduct the cost of the product or in the operation. So the example that I gave on Monday was, let's say we were selling a chair for $100, but we bought that chair for $20. So if I'm going to sell it for $100, I have to subtract the $20 to determine what my gross profit was, which is $80. Now, there's when you're talking about your P&Ls, there's other factors. Taking taxes out, taking money out for paying folks payroll. There are other factors that we didn't get into, but I'm just talking about your gross margin right now. What is the cost of the product that you want to sell, right? And what was your margins? And we can also do a percentage of that. We want to measure that every day or every week or month to month. But you need to determine whether or not my margins are high, or do I need to prepare to reduce my margins because I got to reduce the price of this chair from $100 to now maybe put it on sale for $95 because it's not selling. I thought the $100 fee price would be good. So if I had to sell the chair for $95 or $90 now, that means when I do sell it, $90 minus $20 is $70. So now my gross profit was $70 and not $80 for my previous initiated price. So my gross margin went down. If my gross margin continues to go down from month to month, that's not good, right? So, but the fact that I'm measuring it allows us to make some decisions. So that's why gross margin, finger number 4, is so important for us to know that we have to measure these things so that we can make a decision. Finger number 5, we talked about overhead once again. That's the expenses. We all going to have expenses running our business, whether our business is a home based or not. Your time is important. The marketing that you might have to do is important, and there's typically some type of financial outlay for that. The product that you're selling, typically there's some outlay, financial outlay. If you're hiring people, that's an outlay. So the overhead that you have to determine what it is, whether or not the overhead is variable or not, if it changes from month to month, if it's just the startup amount that you have to put together, and then you're going to have additional overhead going forward. You want to measure your overhead from month to month and decide how can we cut our costs. That's another area that we have to measure so that we can continue focusing on those factors that's impacting our operation and the monies that we have available. And the last area, once again, is receivables at finger number 3. Once again, that typically is not cash. Receivables are things such as, credit, someone used a credit card to pay you, or they give you a check to pay you, or they give you a contract that they're going to pay you. Money hasn't been transferred over to you yet, but it's imminent. It's imminent. But because you actually haven't gotten it in cash, we look at it as receivables, money that we can count as an asset, even though we have yet to receive it, right? The problem is, based on some businesses, they may never receive it. And that's why some people put their customers in collections, right? Think about hospitals or car dealerships or people who are banks who have car loans or home loans, right? They are sending out an invoice, waiting for the money to come in, and they expect for it to come in because people sign a contract, but it never comes, right? They never, get the receivable. And so tracking those, the aging on those is really important, right? So you have to determine, how do you want to get paid? Are you going to get paid cash, Cash App, Zelle? Are people going to be sending you credit cards, right? Because you're going to be looking for that money. So you have to track it. You have to measure it from month to month. How much receivables did we collect this month versus the future month, what you are budgeting for? And if money is not coming in, you got to make some decisions. Do I need to contact this customer and negotiate what they should pay me so that I can at least get something in? Those are really, really important. Is there a question? Okay, letting some people in. Okay. So, did I have a question? Anybody raise their hand? Okay. All right. So, those are important. Those are the financial 6 fingers that we discussed on Monday, so that you understand that as you look to start building your business, there are 6 areas, financial areas, that you want to focus on, because we want to be measuring the growth, measuring the differences between month to month, quarter to quarter, year to year, right? So you can grow your business. All right, so that's it for the overview from Monday. I know I talked about some other areas, but that's the main thing I really wanted to cover, so I can give us more time for the database overview. All right, so where are we? We have discussed, once again, your business model. We have discussed your business concept. Each one of them has ingredients that should be a part of your articulated paragraph. Your business model typically talks about what business you're in, who you are, something about who your customers you're going after, and a revenue desire, a revenue that you're going after, whether it be an average revenue per customer, or maybe a revenue you're looking for per month or per year. But your business model is going to just speak to those ingredients. Your business concept is going to speak to what makes you different. What is the reason why people are coming attracted to your item, right? If you're selling shoes, there's a lot of people out there selling shoes. What makes you, the way you sell shoes or the type of shoes that you're selling, different than what's already out there? Your business concept. And then we talk about your market need. What is the evidence that there really is a market? Market is people. That there are people out there needing your product. What's your evidence? What's your statistical data? How much money is being spent in the market for the type of products or services that you're delivering, providing? So again, there are some ingredients that need to be input into the paragraph that you articulate. And of course, we've given you examples. Some of you guys submit your homework regarding your management and your target market. And the ingredients are, what is your background that that your tags, your talents, your abilities, your gifts, and your skill set says, I am the right person for this position of CEO or leader of the organization. What is that? How many people are you going to need in the short term and maybe even the long term to support your operations? And then the last one that we talked about was your target market. Again, my favorite area, because I need to know who are the low-hanging fruit that I really can encourage and inspire them to purchase our products. Who are the ones who really are showcasing the market need, that they really are paying and buying these items. And here's the reason why. What's motivating them? What do you know about them? What do they look like? What are they loyal to? What do they typically like? What's the demographic and psychographics? Those are the things that we talked about last week that we want to make sure that you are embracing, getting to know those things. So now here we are, your competition. Probably the number one inspirer of your business, because a lot of times you start your business because people out there who are selling and providing the type of products and services that you're providing, they're not doing it so well. They're like, hey, their food is not good, or they don't do great decorations, or they're not doing good project management, or they're not doing X, Y, and Z great. And people would really like it done differently. And now I'm inspired to do it. I'm going to let them know that while my competition is doing X, Y, and Z, we do X, Y, Z, and S, and T, and U, and V. So who is your competition? What do they look like? Where are they? What is their claim to fame? Let's talk about it. So essentially your competition, the question is, who is selling what you are selling? How do I identify my competition? It's really identifying who is selling just about exactly what I am selling. Your indirect competitors might be selling something as an alternative, can be used as an alternative to what your product or services are. So we want to analyze, our goal is to analyze our competition because they are the industry players. Our competitors let us know who we need to buy from to get our products and services, because who are you buying from? If I want to sell some chairs, who is my competition buying their chairs from? Can I get a better deal? Can I get a better vendor to provide my products and services? How much are they selling their chairs for? Because I don't want to sell it too much higher than them, but I mean, I want to sell it as low as them. So for me to determine what my prices are, I need to know who my competitors are and what they're selling and what their price points are. So who are our primary competitors? And typically those are the folks who are selling exactly what we're selling. They might be selling additional things. If I'm selling chairs, they might be selling chairs. They may be selling tables. They might be selling napkins and forks and spoons. I might only be selling chairs. But that still make them my competitors, because even though they're selling more stuff than I am, they're still selling something exactly I'm selling. So we're going after the same type of customer. Who is our secondary competitor? Maybe someone who's selling something as an alternative. So if I'm selling chairs, maybe some people are selling little stoops, or little chairs that's not exactly like my chair. Maybe like you think about chairs that people use in parks, or at the beach, right? I'm selling maybe chairs that you use for dining room tables. But someone's still selling chairs and saying, hey, even though we can use this at the beach, you can also use it at your dining room table if you wanted to, right? It's an alternative. So they may not be my primary, but they may still could be a secondary. Depends on what people want to use these chairs for. So, but we have to identify who our secondary competition is, and what's their claim to fame. That's something that we want to do, and how we write up our articulated paragraph is based on what we know about our competition. So off the top, I'm going to ask you all, who do you think, just give me one business that you might know of that you may have already done some research on that you consider potentially a competitor. One business, and why do you think that person is a competitor to you? And we're going to start off by asking Annette and then Tashina. And I'm going to go to maybe Sparkle. Who do you think one of your competitors are, and why do you think that's your competitor? And let's not go too long with that.
Well, my research, I want to create a solar farm. And what I found out is most of these utility companies have already created solar farms. And we're talking large solar farms. So that's why I switched to a community solar farm. And there is this company called Pilot, which installs solar panels, and they will set up solar panel farm for you. So I need to research, because I do need a supplier and installer for my solar panels. But I'm doing more advanced solar panels that I found. So I gotta find a manufacturer for that and a distributor for that.
So what I heard is two things, maybe three things. Number one, that certain utilities, while they may buy from companies like yours, some of them actually have in-house their own solar farm. So I heard that, which might mean that they may be indirect competitors, maybe because of their size, even though they may be selling something very similar or exactly what you're selling. So even though they're selling something exactly, because of their size, you might be looking at them as an indirect competitors based on who you're going after, right? They may be going after a lot bigger fish. Maybe they're going after stadiums and large scale businesses, right? The other thing I heard is that you had maybe a more smaller competitor, but they're also doing, I think you said, they're doing some of the installations, right? And so looking at that competitor, you might want to say, I want to be in alliance with you. I need to get some information from you. Or you're just going to do your internal research to find out who they're using, because you might want to use the same type of resources, right?
Right.
And so the third thing I heard was the differentiator, right? And just that paragraph you said, while the larger utilities might be going after larger opportunities, you're going after residential. So you're differentiating yourself, right? So when you're articulating your statement, you're going to mention the large scale utilities and what's their claim to fame. You're going to mention some of the similar competitors and what they're doing. But then you're going to say, while they're doing this, I'm doing this. Here's who I'm going after. Here's the reason why. Very good.
Thank you.
Tashina and then Sparkle. You may be on mute. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. I had to take it off. So I guess right now, one of the, I guess for one is like booking.com. And they are one of my competitors because they sell like the most package trips. And I'm trying to make sure that I provide my clients with an entire trip, not just flights, not just rooms, not just excursions, but a complete package. So,
and maybe even Priceline, right? Because people are bidding on essentially, hey, give me your price, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but Priceline, and I actually didn't include them as a competitor mostly because Priceline generally sells hotel rooms for their most thing.
Okay,
As far as the packages.
So
they don't sell packages as you can't do that with a package. Like you do that with a hotel room.
Gotcha.
But they don't allow. They don't allow to do that with an actual package. So
Booking.com would. Booking.com would have.
Yeah, Booking.com sells like reduced pack. They're like the cheap package price. So
okay, and so maybe even like Costco.
They're definitely one. But you said choose one. You said choose
right.
one.
I understand, and you did. You chose one. But again, I'm just thinking of the box.
Travelocity, like we were talking about yesterday. Travelocity is definitely one. But yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right, Sparkle, and then I'm going to go with Renette.
Hello. I would say my direct customer, as I'm writing it down, give you one, would be any company that serves and creates a digital photography packages. So one, for instance, would be the my Christmas photography company. Every year I use them. So they now are my competition because they do Black Santa every year. So if I'm thinking about, growing, how can I do my own Black Santa package? So they are now my competitors. Indirectly, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would think that any photography service marketed on Groupon, Airbnb,
Very good. Very good.
yeah,
I agree.
they are my competition as well because they might be larger, but they can offer a smaller price point, and so
Absolutely.
a much smaller
Absolutely.
price point.
Absolutely love it. Yeah. And you know what? The other crazy thing is,
Sorry.
if,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, the other crazy thing is, because of like the iPhones and the Androids and whatever, they're creating all these apps to making people become their own digital professional. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Correct.
sometimes that's a little bit of indirect creep into your area where people say, well, I can just do it on my own, right? And so that has to be accounted for in terms of your differentiation, in terms of your professional skill set, your creativity, your experience, and all that kind of stuff to allay people trying to do it on their own, DIY, right? Save some money. That's good. And I'm glad you brought up Groupon because, Tashina, I hadn't thought about that. Groupon might also be one of your competitors because they have those things as well. So you might want to jot that down if you hadn't already.
Thank you.
All right, Renette. I hope I got it right this time.
You probably have it right by the end of the class.
I'm still working on it.
It's okay. It's Renate.
Renate. I'm still working on it. Forgive me. I'm trying.
Can't put like a little accent. Well, I don't know how to put the little accent. You know what I mean? But I think I'm kind of like Sparkle in the sense as well. I truly feel like my real competition are the bigger conglomerates because they have more capital and so they can offer services at a lower rate. And so just to give you like an example, like you'll see like a lot of commercials now for like BetterHelp. And so like people will go to BetterHelp because they're saying, hey, you can get therapy for $30 per session. I definitely don't charge $30 per session. And so for people who want to be anonymous somewhat and not have to go through insurance, or people who are like paying out of pocket, it's very appealing to see that you can have a licensed mental health session for $30. So that to me is like one of my, I would say, biggest competitors, just that whole market in itself.
Very good. Yeah. So you look at, I love the fact that you're looking at what folks are, what options they have out there and who's giving those options, how big they are, how small they are, and compare that to what you want to do to make sure that you do have some leverages. You may not be able to leverage every scenario, but based on the target market you're going after, they need to understand the leverage, and as well as the fact that it's between you and, very, very intimate. That is you providing those services, right? It's you that they're talking to versus sometimes those larger companies, you don't know who they're talking to, right?
And like you said, that intimate part of it, I think that comes into play. And then just having people who really care versus somebody who's just trying to get a bulk of persons kind of like coming in. And then what I have researched is that in those larger companies, the therapists, the rate of turnover is super high because they figure out too, like, $30 an hour, I could have just been working at an agency somewhere, Right. And so the rate of turnover is super high. And so like you said, you don't know who you're talking to and you don't get the best care because I think a lot of therapists jump on there because it sounds good. It's quick money. They give you a bonus, but then after that, it just kind of plateaus out. So I'm not too concerned about other therapists because you can always kind of differentiate yourself from other therapists just based on the type of therapy that you offer. So I did that research before even setting boots in Kennesaw, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be good over here, and I have been, thankfully.
Good deal. All right, T, and then Kimberly, and then I'm gonna move on.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Okay. Sorry about that. For me, my business is the life coaching, and without actually having, well, I have a couple of niches. I guess I would say directly my competition would be other coaches and licensed professional counseling. But if I'm looking at one of the niche being maybe anger management, let's just use that one. Then like the law enforcement, any court-ordered counselor, that would be also competition.
Mhm.
Am I on the right path?
Yeah. So they would be your competition, particularly if you're trying to get into that lane. You want probation officers or courts to have you as upon the list of folks that these the folks being guided that they have to go and talk to, right? And
Okay.
so if you particularly going after those folks that need that anger management class because they're being directed by the court, you want to be one of the vendors that the court either lists as appropriate or that you're publicizing that you provide that particular service to fulfill court's obligations to the court, right? And so yeah.
Well, I guess another question then, since I'm focusing on life coaching and not just zooming in on the anger management piece, because with the life coaching, I could do careers and everything like that. When I'm writing this up in my business case, would I need to list all of them or just?
No, you won't have to list all of them. But what I'm saying is, let's say you have the top 3 services that you really want to focus on, right? Life coaches, some people focus on people who are going through job transitions. Some people are going through marital issues. Folks who are going through, some significant stress, mental health issues, right? So there are certain coaches have focuses. So if you're saying, here are my top 3 focuses, and where these prospects are coming from, who else are going to be trying to get those prospects' eyes, right? And so now I know who my real competitors are because we're going after the same potential prospect pool.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, good. All right, and Kimberly.
Hello, how are y'all?
Great.
I think my biggest competitors at this moment are the gas stations.
Okay, you got them bullpen there, right?
Yeah, a lot of the gas stations, even although they'll sit in the crock pot all day. People come in and out. They are my biggest competitor because I know that there is a need for them. People want them. However, I just gotta get it out there that mine are fresh and make it where they're convenient so people could just get them when they go on their lunch breaks or they're traveling on the highway.
Yeah, and a lot of times, or not necessarily a lot of times, but one idea is maybe to have some gas station peanuts. And people do those Coca-Cola tests or Pepsi-Cola taste tests, right? Say, okay, taste these 2 and tell me which one you like the best, right?
Right.
And then more likely than not, they're gonna select yours, right?
Yes.
And so that helps. Even if you were to do a video on it, right? I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna have people at these particular festivals. I'm gonna set up a little testers, like most times you guys go through Publix, grocery stores, or you go through Costco, or they're gonna have people out there in the hallway letting you taste their food, right? So if you were to set up like a little taste test and video it, and then reveal the fact that one that they chose that was more fresher and more flavorful and so on and so forth, they reveal it, you showing that on your website, right?
Okay.
That's helping to build the brand that most people would want: fresh, flavorful, great customer service, is mobile, or you can get them at whatever event you're going to be at, things like that. All right, that would be helpful. But you're right. Your competition would be like the gas stations, places where they're pre-cooked. And a lot of times people do go to the gas stations because they're not going in there thinking they're looking for boiled peanuts, but they're just there. Oh man,
Yeah.
I've seen those in a long time. Let me try them out. That's what the
Yeah.
gas stations are trying to get. They know people
Mhm.
are not coming there specifically for them, but it's a selection that's made off the spur of the moment, right? But you want people to make specific purpose decisions to come and get your boiled peanuts, right?
Mhm.
And so that's what you might want to have over the competition. It's fresh and people are actually coming looking for you, right? It's not just
Right.
boiled peanuts, but I know you got other snacks as well. So,
Mhm. Yes.
all right, good deal. Thank you for
Thank you.
everybody. All right, so that's your competition. So once again, when we're looking at creating your paragraph for your business plan, your executive summary, once again, we want to answer some questions regarding who your competition is. One of those questions is, who is your direct competition? Who do you think, just like we just did that exercise, who do you think your competition is and why? What is your competition selling that's exactly what you're selling? Another question is, who do you think your indirect competition is? In some cases, using Kimberly as an example, maybe the gas stations are an indirect competitor because they're not fresh and because they're not necessarily at a festival atmosphere, which is where Kimberly might be. So she may be looking at them as indirect competitors in some cases, right? If she was at a gas station as well, maybe she had a location next to a gas station where she's selling fresh. And because the gas station patrons are coming in, particularly the gas stations are hoping to get those patrons that's buying gas, Kimberly may not be actually going after gas station people going to get some gas in their car, right? But if she decided that she wanted to maybe have some gas station vendors sell her product, now is more of a direct competition status. But in any event, again, those people who are selling something that could be similar to your product or an alternative to your product is most likely who we're looking at as an indirect competitor. And the last question they have here is, which is probably the biggest question, is we have to incorporate in our paragraph our competitive advantage. Not that we're the better, but we may be the more attractive to our target audience. And maybe most times I'm going to be writing my competitive advantage because maybe the business concept idea that I wrote in the other paragraph that talked about your business concept, I'm going to put that a little bit of that into my paragraph. So when Office Leverage was answering these questions and designing their paragraph, here's how they answered their question. Once again, Office Leverage, they sell Microsoft Office training to their target audience to train their employees, or in some cases individuals, on how to be more skillful in Microsoft Office applications. So here's what they said about the competitors. Who is your direct competition? Corp Train, Training Horizons, and just about anyone who provides on-site training. Well, who is your indirect competition? Someone who sells products that could be used as an alternative to your product. What types of companies? And they're saying alternative competition is online tutorials. Yes, some customers, some of our prospects could go and decide to get online tutorials, or they could go get self-help good books instead of using our training. They could contact the help desk, Microsoft Help Desk, to learn some things. They could contact computer technicians to help them. That's an alternative to going through our training and paying us for more specific, flexible training. So they're saying, what is your competitive advantage? That's what I just said. Flexibility. We can customize upon specific requests from our competitors. So they took those 2 to 5 word answers, put them all together, made 2, 3, maybe 4 drafts to come up with some clever words to link them all together to describe who their competition is. And they did that on the bottom section, that blue and white section. Let's go ahead and blow that up. So authors leverage their competition statement that they copied and pasted into their business plan is this: Corp Train and Training Horizons are direct competitors that offer a broad catalog. This is what they do. This is their claim to fame. They offer a broad catalog of training classes catering to corporate employees. That's what they found out doing their research on their competitor. They offer a broad catalog of training classes catering specifically to corporate employees. They actually have X number of franchise locations in Southern Georgia. Now, regional seminars and skill trails are our competitors, and they are national providers that host workshops. That's what they do at hotels. And this enables them to be in just about any location. That may be their claim to fame. Our advantage over them is, in our opinion, the flexibility to customize our training format to meet the varied needs within small to medium-sized businesses. We are intimate. We focus on designing curricula that may be applied immediately to improve work assignments, which is the real reason why they hired us. Now, our indirect competition stems from training provider directories, free and paid online tutorial websites such as 5minute.com, and Microsoft's corporate website. Microsoft offers knowledge databases and support forums to include pay-per-call help desks. That 3 paragraphs came just from answering these 3 questions. Once again, they may have made 2 or 3, 4 drafts to come up with these clever words, linking them all together. But ultimately, the ingredients that they put into this paragraph is who they're training, who the competition is, what is it that they do, who are they targeting, what may be their claim to fame, what they feel is special to them. And then the second ingredient is notating what you feel is advantageous about your business, why customers might be more attractive to how you do things, or what is it that you do, or what you provide, or how you provide it. The last area is discussing who their indirect competition is. Someone who's providing something as an alternative to what you might be selling. All right. So that's going to be your homework. Your only homework for the night is to ask or to answer using 2 to 5 word answers if possible. Who is your direct competition? We went through this exercise a few minutes ago. Who is your direct competition? You want to have more than one. I would say 2, maybe 3, but definitely more than one. And I would suggest you not overthink it, because when you started to thinking about starting this business, you probably start thinking who is already doing what you want to do. The second thing is, so that you don't have to overthink it, the second half of today's class is going to show you how to find some of the competitors based on your industry number, your SIC code. So who is your indirect competition? Once again, who sells products that could be used as an alternative to your product? And then the last area again is re-emphasizing what you feel is the competitive advantage, your business concept in most cases. Why are you different? That's word already over there. How are you operating different? Maybe you having, multiple things that you're offering where most of your customers are only offering 1 or 2 things. All right. One of the benefit, was there a question? I heard there a question up there.
Yes, and
Okay.
then
Hey, Annette.
so indirect customer is the same as secondary customer.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. Yep. Same situation. Secondary
thing.
versus
Okay.
primary. Yep. You got primary, secondary. Some people use direct or indirect. So they pretty much interchangeable words. A good question. All right. So what I'm hoping you all could do to help inspire you to learn more about your industry is that once you find out information about who your competitors are, and I'm speaking specifically to not secondary or indirect competitors, but let's just direct competitors. If by using, again, we're going to go into Reference USA, but this is a similar info sheet that we can get from Reference USA, Reference Solutions. But let's say you were starting a supply rental company business, and you found your SIC code, your industry code was 735906. And let's say you're going to be in Fayetteville, working out of Fayetteville, and you researched using Reference Solutions or some database, or maybe people that you know, maybe you let your finger do the walking in that particular area. But you found that these 10 businesses, I think it's 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and you're not even on here because you haven't started your business yet. But you found these 10 businesses carrying the same or using the same SIC code that you are going to be using. If I found out how many employees they have, if I found out how much money they're making, I can do some arithmetic and I can say, okay, in Fayetteville, I'm going to have this party rental company where people outside of Fayetteville certainly could come, but my main target audience are going to be the people that live in Fayetteville. And so currently they have all of these options of businesses they can go to for their party supply rental needs. And when I looked at this, I said, okay, is my party rental from my research made $785,000 last year? And they got 3 employees. Wow. Cool Daddies made $334,000. They got 3 employees. Wait a minute. Bargain Bounce Party Rentals got 4 employees and they made over $1 million. But if I add everybody up, all these businesses, I came up with 13.7, almost $13.8 million. That says that's how much the market bears, because customers paid all that money from Fayetteville in this example. So the market bears $13.8 million. That's 100% of the market based on my research. Now, of course, there may be businesses that we didn't find that could be in here, but just to get an idea as you're doing your research, I just want to, figure out what my market it really is as an estimate. You may find that the supply rental company, some supply rental business in Fayetteville, in Marietta, in Cherokee County is $13.8 million. If I divide that number by the 10 businesses that I found, I will find that the average revenue per business is $766,000. The average revenue that the business should have using this particular arithmetic is $766,000. That represents 6% of the market. That's the average amount. So if I'm saying I'm setting my business up, what should my vision be? Well, I want to get the average amount of business in my market. I want to get, my goal in 3 years is to get 6% of the market. What is 6% of the market? $766,000. I may not get it, but at least I have a target now. I'm not pulling something out of a cloud. I have a clear idea of what I would like to make. Now, maybe I'm going to decide, based on how much I'm going to sell, because some of these people are selling, all types of stuff. They've probably been in business for a long time, and they've expanded their business. I'm so super new. I might only do what Cool Daddy did, which is $300,000, which is okay with 3 people. I can live over that. But at least I know what my market's bearing. Had I not done some type of research and knowing who my competition is, how many people are working the business, how much money they made, and actually just figure out business by business. Okay, it's my party rental made $785,000, and the market bear was 13.7. I can just do some arithmetic to determine that the $785,000 is 6% of the market. So it's my party rentals. If I'm looking at them as my really head-to-head competitor, They got 6% of the market. I have to take some of that market away from them when I enter. I got to woo some of their customers to me. So that $785,000 is going to go down to maybe $600,000. I got to get some of their business. But maybe Cool Daddy. Okay, Cool Daddy's made $334,000. When I do the arithmetic, $334,000 going into $13 million, that represents 2% of that market pool. The $334,000 represents 2% of the $13.7 million. That's what Cool Daddy's market share is right now. They may only been in the business for a couple of years, or maybe this is their first year, but they got 2% of the market share. If I go all the way down to Jumping for Joy Party Rentals, they got 10 employees. They made $2.6 million. That represents 19% of the market share. So we know who the big shops are, who's maybe been in the business for a long time, or maybe they're just selling a lot of stuff. But the important thing is, do you know what your market share is in your industry right now for the area that you want to work in? Would that be interesting for you to know? Would be interesting to know who is the big players in your market for the area that you're going to be covering, and who is really just now scratching the surface and don't have a whole lot of market share, because that's going to be you coming in. Would that be interesting for you to know? Would it be crazy for you to know that this company made $1.04 million is only 4 employees, maybe a family business? Would that inspire you to say, oh, if they can do it, I certainly can? Especially when I go onto their website and I see what they're doing or where they're located at, and they made $1 million. Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and design what my concept is going to be. Let me change some things up. Let me make some additional offerings because I see what they're offering. I hadn't even thought about offering this X, Y, and Z. I'm going to offer that as well. When you start looking at your competition and determining, getting information out, financial data, employee data, and even this database I want to show you can show you what they're, how much they're spending on their rent, what they're spending on their light utility bills, and if they have a brick and mortar. It gives you all that information. It tells you how much they've been making from year to year. Because again, we had the pandemic. You're going to see some places that spiked down because of this pandemic. You also may see some companies spike up because of the pandemic. I'm certainly sure like Google Meet or Zoom spiked up because of the pandemic. Why? Because now people decided, hey, let's do virtual training because we can't even take our butts into the office. So what happened? Everybody signing up, getting Zoom plans and Google Meet plans. So the environment, the financial environment, the political administration, the economy, what's going on in the world impacts different industries and different businesses. And you knowing what the competitors have done, how they weathered the storm based on from year to year, knowing what happened in the past allows you to predict if certain things happen, how your industry will be able to overcome it. All right. So that's my spiel on that. And that's the only reason I put this document up. I'm actually going to send you all a Excel spreadsheet at the end of the course. At the end of today's class with the homework assignment, so that you can see exactly if you were to leverage the database and have the database send you you can download your results. You can see exactly how you can play around with your players. One also interesting thing that I may bring up again is that I had a participant in one of our classes before, and they had a real estate company, and they were in the class. They were redoing their strategy, redoing their business plan, so on and so forth. And when we pulled them up as an example, their business popped up as one of the businesses that were in the system. And we toggled on her and actually show pictures of her business in front. And she was like, who took that picture? How do they know this? Where did they get that information? She was like stunned of how accurate the information was on her. And I can't tell you where the database is getting their information from. They may pay for this, and that's one reason why the database information is not open to the public. You have to pay to get a license, and I'll go into that later. But it was just interesting to see her reaction to the fact that she was in a database and all of her information was in there and it was pretty accurate. Okay. All right. So once you do get your competitors' information, you may want to decide to open up an Excel spreadsheet and input information what you find on your competitors, just to know. Or just to start determining how are you going to compare to them in the different areas, even though you haven't started your business yet, or for some of you that have started your business, you can start putting your information down on your matrix to see how you line up against your competition. All right, so analyzing your industry and your competition. This is not something we're asking you to do for the class, but it is something that's asked for you in your business plan template somewhere down the line after the course is over. And it's great for you to say, I need to learn more and more about my industry, because now I'm having some aha moments. I'm having some moments that I'm really understanding that the more I know about my industry, the more I can start preparing to become one of the leaders of the industry and be the movers and shakers and do things creative. But we first need to find out what our SIC code is, what our standard industry code is, before we can really be aggressive in being a change maker in your industry. So when we try to look at our SIC code, one of the things that we need to really think about is, do we have a niche? Do we have something different? Because the more different you are, the more harder it will be to find a SIC code for you. SIC codes are typically broad, right? And so if I'm saying I'm a consultant, well, the SIC code might there may be a SIC code for the word consulting, because consulting can be consulting animals, veterinarians. I can be consulting business management. I can be consulting anybody. But if I say that I'm a technology consultant as that niche, there may or may not be a specific SIC code for a technology consultant. So there may be one. But the more specific you are in what you do, may be harder for you to find a SIC code. So if we can't find a SIC code for exactly what we do, we have to find a SIC code that's similar to what we do. And typically, how I look at this is, if I find a competitor that's doing exactly what I'm doing, I want to go find the SIC code that they're using. And I'm going to end up using that. And I might find 2 or 3 competitors, and I want to see if they're all using the same SIC code. And if they are, voila, I found the SIC code that I'm going to use, right? So we also, in analyzing your industry, once again, you go back and find out not only who your SIC codes are, and again, what your niche is. You want to then go and find your competitors. What is it that they do and they do good? I think I may have a question out there. Somebody got a question? Going once, going twice.
It was a mistake.
Okay, good. All right, so you're going to, again, use your SIC code to help you find your competitors, and then you're going to start figuring out what it is they do, what they do good. Interesting story real quick. It just popped in my mind. My wife is a registered nurse, and she there was a time that she wanted to get out of the nursing, working in the hospital and do all that direct care patient work and stuff, right? And so she actually is the one who found Greater Wealth Works before I knew about them, right? And at the time they were called the Edge Connection, empowering and developing Georgia's entrepreneurs. And so she wanted to start a business, and she wanted to sell scrubs. And she really didn't want to sell to the hospital. She wanted to sell to like cosmetologists and people that do your hair and people who do your nails and dermatologists. She wanted to sell scrubs to kids that were in college, right? Because it's it's a really comfortable fit. You can sleep in it. You can get up and go to class. It's just, and you look and feel like you're a professional. So she had a whole different niche that she wanted to sell these scrubs to, right? And so she decided, hey, I besides me going and buy my own scrubs, I really don't know what people like. I know what I like. I don't know what other people like. So she decided that for market research, that she would go to Town Center Mall in Kennesaw, which we live in Cherokee County near Kennesaw. She decided she was going to go there, and she went and applied for the store that was selling scrubs. And of course, she didn't care what she made. She got minimum wage, and she went in there and she found out where they are buying their scrubs. She found out the type of scrubs that most people are interested in, what color they're interested in, what type of cartoon characters people like or what have you. And she was there for maybe, 2 months, and she quit, just up and quit. I got the information I need. right? And she continued on with the business plan until she stopped. And, you know, and that's a whole other story. She ended up not doing it. But the interesting thing is that she went in to find out information about what her competitor is doing and about the customer's behavior. That is interesting. That is wild. What are you doing to find out about your competitor competition? What are you doing to find out why your competitors, customers, why they like them? What do you know about them? How are you going to find that information besides maybe just research? Are you going to actually go there and, you know, fake the funk, so to speak? Are you going in and just walk around and see what people are saying? See how the customers are being treated. You need to know something about it so that as you're analyzing your industry, you're analyzing your competition, it's going to help you grow as a business person. The other thing is industry-wide. What have you found out how much money is being spent in your product or services? We asked that question back when we talked about the market need. So in analyzing your industry, a part of that is information that you may have already gotten when you're analyzing the industry and the market need. So again, your SIC code is going to be your friend for life. You're going to always know what your SIC code is. And at some point, your SIC code will expand. As you expand your services, you might end up selling something that's different. So if I had a barbershop, my SIC code for barbershop might be X, X, Y, and Z. But if I decided to, in my barbershop where I'm cutting hair, I might start to sell oils for your hair. I might start to sell grease or brushes and combs. So now, instead of just a service, I now have products. That's a whole nother SIC code because I've expanded my financial opportunities. So what's the SIC code for selling hair products? That's a whole, that might be ABC. So again, understanding your SIC code is important because it's going to help you identify who you are in the industry. It may also help you identify who you're going to buy from in the industry. Because if I'm going to sell grease and combs, and I got to find out who sells those things that I can buy from, right? They're going to be a similar industry number as mine. So again, a SIC code is a numerical scheme used to classify businesses according to industry type. Companies in the same industry were assigned the same number or SIC code. For example, General Motors, Ford Motors, Honda, they all got the same SIC code as 3711 because they're all car manufacturers. They may not sell the cars because the dealers may sell them, but they are manufacturing them and then selling them to dealers, right? So if I'm an accountant and I want to start an accounting business and do people taxes, my SIC code might be 69201. The 69 might be accounting. Right? I can be accounting auditor. I can be accounting tax professional. The 201 might be a little bit more the niche that I'm doing. All right. So I'm just highlighting that your SIC code, the different lettering system, the scheme is based on your industry and then the niche that you do, something very specific that you do. And that's why sometimes you're going to have players in the health industry in this, if the health industry started with 69 in this example, the 5713 might be whether or not you're a dentist or you're a surgeon or you are a something, just somewhere else in the health profession. But the 69 might be health profession, right? So once again, at some point in your business planning along the way after this class, there's going to be a question asking you to determine the information about your industry. And these are just some sample questions. Just like the rest of your business plan template, there are questions for every one of those areas that we're not going to get into during this class. But this is one example. If you want to do a paragraph on your industry overview, they're going to ask you, okay, what industry are you in? What is your SIC code? What is your niche? What's the subgroup that you're targeting within your industry? How many people might be currently buying the type of products and services that you're providing? And industry-wide, how much is spent on your product or services? The same strategy on developing your rest of your business plan is the same strategy we're using on developing your executive summary. So as an example of office leverage, they're going to talk about the industry overview. They're going to answer those questions, and here's what they drafted out. They said, okay, Office Leverage is a software training firm within the training and development industry. They know what industry they're in. Yeah, we're training Microsoft Office, but we are essentially in the training and development industry. And the SIC code for that is 8299, which specifically says education development training. Now, we share the same marketplace with companies that provide professional development services to business enterprises. Our industry collective goal is to teach technical, leadership, managerial, and proprietary skills to help a client's workforce become more productive. So they said, yeah, we're in training development, but here's a niche, here's a specific area that we're playing in. So our Office Leverage was founded to help companies optimize their investment in Microsoft Office by increasing employee productivity. Ultimately, what are people buying from them? They're buying, and the walkaway is the employees must be more productive. That's what they're buying. So that's the industry overview. They went into, maybe they copied and pasted this from their market, the information they have for their market need. They said training and development has emerged as a formal business function, an integral element of strategy. And according to the training source, the top 20 companies in the business outsourcing marketplace alone generated over $1.6 billion. That's a statistic they got from somewhere, maybe CNN, some article. They said on a more local level, because now this is their target. They're really working in Georgia. So it's important for them not only to have a national number, but what's really going on in Georgia to make you influence to start your business in Georgia, or if there's an opportunity in Georgia. So they said Georgia spent $52 million on customized training in 2006. Training used to be our one of the first items cut from budget during economic downturns. However, which tells them there's an opportunity. We found in our research there's an opportunity because we got an however there. However, companies are now realizing that a skilled workforce has a direct impact on the company's financial objectives. Because I'm now the leader of Office Leverage, I'm saying that tells me there's an opportunity in Georgia, because people are really realizing that they have to have a more skilled workforce in order for the company to be successful and productive. That's the industry overview. They found that somewhere where you're going to find information about what's inspiring people to buy your product or services. Why are they buying? What's their need? The last paragraph they have here is the American Society for Training and Development estimates that the U.S. organization spent $109 billion on employee learning and development annually. In metropolitan Atlanta, there are X number of businesses with 20 to 500 employees who typically do not have an in-house training applications training. So that might have been copied and pasted from market need or somewhere else in the business plan, but it helps understand the industry overview and why we're here. The main thing is I know my SIC code. I know something about the players in this industry. And because I know that, I can start working strategically to provide the best offering. So as we now getting ready to go into Office Reference Solutions, here's some other resource links. You guys are going to get a copy of this presentation, but there's just some additional databases, whether they're free or not free, that you all can leverage to do some research. Research is going to be fun. The more you know about your business and your industry, the more you're going to be happy that you are a player in it. All right. All right, so here we go. Reference Axle Data Solutions. Used to be Reference USA. Reference Axle Data Solutions. They are not free per se. They don't provide individuals with access or with a license to access their information. I don't know where they're buying their information from. It might be from the IRS. It might be from organizations, government organizations that when people either pay their taxes or they register their businesses or whatever, they may be buying that information, right, from these folks. But how do we get to leverage it and get that information? the 99% of libraries, your local library, has a license for people to do research for reference solutions and others. You might have graduated from a particular college or community college. They may have a license. So because you're a graduate, you're alumni, you might be able to use your accesses to their electronic databases. But the reason why I'm here in my home office and able to show you is because I went into my library here in Cherokee County. I put in my library number, got in, toggled on the reference solutions in their e-library, research library, toggled on it, put in my library passcode again, and voila, it opened up. And here's what you saw. I'm going to stop sharing this. And I'm going to go and do a reshare of the actual going into the library. It take a minute for it to pop up.
Hey, Mr. Steve, I have a question.
Yes.
As a businessman, have you do you ever rely on AI for statistical data and research? And if so, what's been your
It's so
experience?
new. I actually have not. It is so new. But yes and no. So yeah, AI, you can Google certain things. You can Google your SIT code. You can Google information about your industry. And AI is going to provide you whatever they have. The thing that I always like to do is I need to measure their information against somebody else. I need to measure the information against a couple other organizations so that I can feel how accurate it is.
Right. I agree with that because you just don't trust. But if you do have a certain search tool that you recommend, please share. But
Yep.
yeah, you always have to fact check. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's see if this will pop up now. Data Axle. Okay, here we go. I don't see it pop up yet. Okay, there we go. All right. So if I go, I'm gonna see if I can go back and you all might be able to see what I did here. So there's my regional library information. So once I logged in, okay, I don't know why it's not going in. So I'm gonna come back out.
Can you hit the forward button?
All right, let's see if I can hit the forward button. Let's see if I can hit the forward button and go back to where I was. Because I don't know why it's not doing it. I should have messed myself up. Okay. There we go. We're in. All right. So once you get in, Reference Solutions are going to have multiple databases here because it's just, I think they have maybe like 12 databases. This library may have paid for 6 of them. But we only care about the first one, U.S. businesses. Why? What are we trying to do? What's the purpose? We're trying to find competitors, our U.S. businesses that are competitors of ours. So once I click on that, it's going to open up to this. It's going to open up to this page. It's default to what they call a quick search, this first tab here. We're not worried about that. We're not looking for one particular business because we may not know who our competitors are. I'm specifically highlighting this because when you start doing your own research, you open this up, this is the page is going to come up and you're going to say, I don't remember Steve talking about this page. Where did this page come from? You have to hit advanced search because we have to tell them what we're looking for. We have to give them the SIC code. So once we hit advanced search, and by the way, the presentation you are going to get tonight is going to have all this information that we're talking to you about. Plus, you got this being recorded. So once I hit advanced search, there's only 2 areas that I want to open up over here. The first one is going to be business type. Business type, which is the keyword SIC codes. So I want to click on business type, put a check mark in there. When I put a check mark in there, the search information comes on the right-hand side. The second area that I check off is geography, because not only do we want to find all businesses that are going to have my SIC code, I want to find them in a particular area. Typically, I use county. You all can use city, you can use state, but I like to use county. I want to find all the businesses in my county that's doing what I'm doing. So when I click on that, if I scroll down, the area that I need to populate for county is on the bottom. So I'm going to scroll back up, and now, since I don't know what my SIC code is, this area up here defaults to a bullet inside SIC codes. I could hit a bullet for Naxos numbers, but I want you all, as you're getting to learn this system, is to leave the bullet defaulted in SIC code. So let's say I want to look up caterers. Let's see who's online here. Let me do somebody's business. Let's do you're doing boiled peanuts, Kimberly, right? So let's say I'm going to put in boiled peanuts.
Would it be on my website, or how would I know mine? Okay.
Well, I'm going to just do one at a time. I'm going to do boiled peanuts vendor. I don't know what's going to pop up. So I'm just giving them a keyword to help them find what my SIC code might be.
Okay.
All right. So in this case, I'm going to put boiled peanuts vendor. All right. So on the bottom here are all SIC codes for different descriptions. This one says food products, wholesale. Maybe that's not me. I'm doing boiled peanuts. Macadamia nuts seller. Maybe that's not me. You understand? So now I got to scroll down to find a description that I feel is closer to me. I'm going to scroll. Now this is nuts edible processing, but you're probably not doing that, right? I'm not creating nuts, right? I'm not grabbing nuts from a tree or from the ground or whatever and processing. So it may not be me, right? But you're also doing concessions. You're doing snacks and, right? So that's his manufacturer, right? But you're probably doing more retail. I'm not manufacturing and then sending them out to people who are doing retail. So that's probably not me. You understand?
Yes, sir. So
as I scroll down, canning, connect, confectionery, retail. I don't think you said you're doing canning. I think you're doing like potato chips or pork
skins.
Pork skins. That might be listed as potato chips, but it might be snacks. But I'm going to keep on going until we find something that you find that might be closer to you. And because, again, our preface is by saying the more of a niche you are, the harder it might be. So we have to find something that's related, right? The other alternative is if I know who my competitor is, then I want to go back to that first screen and put them in to see what they use.
Okay.
Right? So that's one reason why it's important, could be important to know a particular competitor. So now I'm getting to boiling rental. So now we're getting out of the food, right? Boilers, because I put boiled peanuts. But what if I just put, instead of boiled peanuts, what if I just put peanut vendor? Because it's a type of peanut, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to put peanut vendor and see if I get a different set of SIC codes. So again, peanuts wholesale, let's see here, nuts edible. That might be an option. So I'm going to click on that. 544102, nuts edible. You might want to write that down because that might be one option. Maybe my competitors are using multiple SIC codes, and that might be one of them.
Okay.
Again, nuts wholesale, potato chips, corn chips, snacks manufacturing, salted nut seed manufacturing. So I'm always looking at this last word, manufacturing, because if I was to search for my competitors, they're gonna put up all these large corporations that manufacture that stuff. That's not who I'm looking for. So I'm going to be very careful to what SIC code I use. Concessionaires. Do you feel that you're a concessionaire? Right. So that's very broad because that could be anything, but that's also might be something I might want to write down as a potential SIC code to use. I might not be looking for everyone who is doing boiled peanuts. I might want to find out everybody who's doing concessions because they may be my competitors in certain situations.
79921.
All right. So now I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna put, what's it, pork
skins.
skins. So I'm gonna put pork skins and see what comes up. All right. So because I use the word pork, it's come up with meat retail.
You know, the Spanish people call them chicharron. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put peanuts retail. I'm going to use that word retail is important. The nuts edible is probably where we want to end up at. Peanuts. So I'm not seeing anything on here. Again, you and I can work together, to find. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to Google this on my phone real quick. I'm going to Google boiled nuts SIC code. BOILED, boiled nuts SIC. Okay, so they're showing a Naxos code of roasted nuts and peanuts. That's a 311911. 311911. And that's a NAICS code. So I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to change it to Naxos code because I want to get some results for you. And I'm going to put down here 311911. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to find anyone who's using the Naxos code. I changed the bullet here to Naxos code. So it's going to search for Naxos code. Anyone who's using 311911, and we're going to say in the geography area of Georgia, and what county you want me to use.
We can use Cobb.
Okay. Cobb County. Once I do that, now, by the way, when I put Cobb County, if I did that mistake and I was looking really for Cherokee County, I would have to click on Cobb County to erase it, and then I will come back up here and put in Cherokee. If I wanted Cherokee and Cobb, if I want to do search for multiple counties, and I want them to give me, then I will add that. So you can see the ads over on this side.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to take Cherokee County out, and up here it says view results. I'm going to click view results. Oh, it said 0 found. No one's using that one. So let's go back to the SIC code where it was nuts edible, and see who we find. SIC
So
codes.
does that mean she would be the only one in Cobb County with
It
that?
just means that I might not be using the right SIC code.
Oh, okay.
So we're just trying to find the right one. And I just Googled that one. So I'm putting nuts edible. And I'm gonna put nuts processing just to see what we come up with. When I did that, it popped up down here. I'm gonna take out concessionaires because that's out of the way. Nuts edible. Actually, I'm gonna use that nuts edible. And I want to see anybody in Georgia and Cobb County that is using that particular code. Okay, we go. Few results. Okay, it's not doing it. Hold on, I'm gonna try to refresh it, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go up here. Go back to advanced search. So I'll go back to advanced search. I'm going to click on keyword. I'm going to click on county. I'm going to put in here nuts. And I'm going to hit search. Nuts edible came up. Oh, I'm going to put in boiled nuts. The last time I had peanuts. Let's see boiled nuts. That's a difference there. I'm still keep with nuts edible. Okay, and then I'm going to come down here and put in Georgia and Cobb. And I'm hit view results. And here we go. We got 2 results. You got a company called Adulta Nuts and National Pecan LLC. One's on Windy Hill, another one's on Power Ferry. So I'm going to click on them to see what they give us. Now, they may not do boiled nuts, right? So that's what our job is, to try to find who does boiled nuts. The issue is because you're so the niche is so small that maybe gas stations are selling them, but where are the gas stations getting them from? It might be individual people like yourself, right?
I know one of the people that they get them from is down in Jacksonville, Florida.
You know the name of the company?
It's called Papa John's, because I'm trying to get me some delivered, but I don't know how much I have to do as far as my bulk order.
Okay, so we're gonna try to find Papa John's in a minute.
Okay.
But in the meantime, let's just go show you all what happens here, because I want you all to get excited about what the information they give you. So here, this company, it gives you their location information. So there are several blue lines here of every one of the banks of information. So in this bank, the name of the company, their phone number, the county they're located in, if they have an email address, fax number, things like that. The second area that we're going to go into is their industry number, the industry profile. This is where they get the SIC code. So in this case, they're using the SIC code 544102. The description is nuts edible. They sell nuts, but they have the Nexus code that is correlated with the SIC code is 445-29205. You would want to write that number down.
That was
That would be your 445-29205. And the name of that is confectionery and nut retailers. So I think we're on the right path here. Confectionery and nut retailers. It may not be boiled nuts, but it's nuts. So these are players who you're a competitor with. How you're different is that you sell boiled peanuts where everybody else sell other types of peanuts. So I scroll down a little bit more. It goes into my business demographics. How many people are employed? They say 1 to 4 people. How much money do they make? $258,000.
Oh, wow.
How many people? 1 to 4 people. Can you work with that amount?
Wow.
What type of business is this? It's a private business, so they're not on the stock market. There's only 4 people that's running it. Location, single location. If I scroll down some more, how many years they've been in this database? 13 years they've been in this database.
Wow.
Last time this was updated, October 2024.
Hmm.
When were they established? 1988. But they've only been in this database for 13 years. So they may have been under the cover for a while.
Yeah.
Square foot, home business, no. Federal contractor, no. Credit rating, good. When they open, hours of operation. If I scroll down some more. The management directory. Who owns this? Ann Falcone and Amar Patel. Manager, manager executive. Female, male. If I scroll down some more, they tell me their business expenditure. Where are they putting their money? Where's they putting their budget? So their county is about less than $500 for the county is spending. Now again, all these are estimates. We don't know how accurate this information is. But I'm just showing you that they give you something. So if I'm now looking at my budget, I at least have something to go by based on my competitors. Here's how much money they're spending, based on how much money they've taken in, and how many employees they have. Contract laborer, they're spending less than $1,000 on contract labor. What about legal? Attorney fees, less than $500. Office equipment and supplies, less than $5,000. Payroll, less than $100,000. Rent and leasing, less than $10,000. Telecommunications, iPhones and computer stuff, less than $2,000. So again, if I'm trying to figure out what should I be looking to budget for when I start looking at my financials, these are some of the areas that your competitors are putting money in. That might be some good information to know. And how much they're using. Again, that's just a range. We don't know how accurate this is. If I scroll down some more, I'm looking at how much money they've been making from year to year. So from 2014, they went all that when they got started, or at least what they shown in this database, they went all the way up to almost $1 million. And then they were pretty consistent. In about 2017, something happened, and I don't know, something happened in their business. They starts going down. And they start leveling up ever since then. So we'll be interested in knowing what happened in the economy during these years that made them go all the way up. And what happened in 2017 in the economy that made them come down. But they've been pretty consistent ever since in the sales. But that tells me with 4 people, they made $1.1 million selling peanuts for a few years. If I scroll down here a little bit, it's matching up to how many employees they had during that time. So while they have 4 employees ever since, so they made over $1 million with just 4 employees. They haven't gone down until recently. Now they're down to I don't know what this, maybe they're down to 3. This line says 3 employees. If I scroll down some more, I'm going to open up 2 sections that's really important. I think is important. The first one is nearby businesses. If I should open that up, if I'm going to open up somewhere, I want to find out who's going to help me build foot traffic. So if they're making $250,000 and they are in a building somewhere, these are the type of businesses that are around them. Avis Rent-A-Car, Balanced Brain and Body, a nutritionist, a car dealership, some beauty salons, an attorney. So if they're making $200,000, $300,000, if I open up and look at another competitor, I want to find out who around them. And if they also have a rent-a-car company or some beauty salons and a State Farm insurance agency, I'm going to say, when I start to decide where I'm going to put my business, I want to have the same type of businesses around me as my competitors, because you was able to do this research. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So the next area, which is the most important, is the competitors report, because even though they only showed me 2 people when we first started, this competitors report may give me more people around the area. And look at there. Here are the competitors to that business. King Tommy Pecan Company, A Couple of Nuts, Cook Pecan, Eastern Pecan, right? So now if I want to find out how much they are making and where they're located. This is Alabama company. They're in Fayetteville, Georgia, Davisville, Georgia, right? Athens. I'm going to go to Fayetteville, a couple of nuts, and click on them. And I want to see what they're going to say. Because I want to go to Alabama. I want to find some people near me in Georgia. So a couple of nuts. Here's their information, where they're located, their website. I can go on in and do some snooping around. Right? I scroll down some more. They actually got job listings showing they want to hire people. If I scroll down some more, they're using the exact same SIT codes. I scroll down some more. They have 5 to 9 employees, and how much money they made? $500,000. They've been in this database for 17 years. They were last updated August 2024. The credit rating is pretty good. Once again, here are the folks who are running the show for them, their background. Scroll down some more. Here's how much they're spending on their budget areas. Might be something for you to look at. If I scroll down some more, here's how their money been made these last years. It's gone up from 2008, 240,000, 500,000, over 800,000, over $1 million. And just like the other company, came a scorching halt all down in 2017, down to 285,000. And then they make about around that amount for the next 4 years, and then start going back up. Something they did, some decision they made, going back up to over 700,000. And they've been pretty consistent. But again, they made decisions based on what's going on in the economy to get themselves back on a better financial scale. I'll scroll down some more. How they've been hiring and terminating people. So they started off with about 5 people, and then they went down to 3 people. Been 3 people for a while. They went back up to maybe 3.5 people, and have been pretty consistent. 2022, they shot up to over 11 people. Their business can allow them to pay 11 people. If I scroll down some more, again, I click open the nearby businesses. Who is near them in Fayetteville that they decided to have their business next to? Education Association, American Rose Society, professional organization, some type of chapter there, Public Works. All these people know about the peanut company. That's helping them get to 500,000. City government offices near them. Let me go and give me some peanuts at lunchtime. So it's important to know where your competitors that are doing good, who's around them, what's helping build their business. Now I'm going to open up the competitors report again. And there is Andalucia Nuts, the first one that we opened up in Marietta, Georgia, shown again as their competitor. So let's go one more, because I want to see if there's going to be a different SIT code. Let's go to the folks down in Athens, Georgia. And I want to just find out what SIT codes they're using. So here you go. They got a different SIT code. They're using the first one, but they also using dry, dehydrated fruits and vegetables. So they're selling fruits and vegetables as well. So when we're looking at how much money they made, we have to consider that they not only selling nuts, but they also selling vegetables. So I would imagine they made a lot of money. Oh, guess what? There's only one employee. How much money did they make? $75,000, but that's pretty good for one employee. They've been in this database for 42 years, since 1948. So that's obviously that's a, they're down in Athens, Georgia. They didn't, maybe a family-owned business. All right. So let's try somebody else. Hopefully that was helpful for you.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. So who want me to try them out real quick? Speak up. Go ahead, speak up.
I see a hand raised.
Okay. The hand raised, who was that?
Miss King.
Miss.
I will.
Okay. All right.
I know.
All right, so let's
I couldn't decide what the SIT code was. Like it's a like several. I couldn't decide whether I should do the penny auction one or the because
so
I'm
let's
not
do this real quick. Just
travel
for everybody. So over here on the business type, what I'm gonna click on?
keyword.
Keyword what?
It's SIT
Oh,
next.
there you go. SIT
Yeah.
code. That's right. There you go. And what happens? It populates on the right hand side, our search area. But before we do this, we got to click on what? Geography. And again, I'm gonna select county. So now what keyword do you want to use to find your competitors? Travel agencies?
Well, see, that's what I don't. That's like what I'm having an issue with because
Well, we got to make a
destination
decision. We
share.
got 5 minutes. Let's make a decision.
Okay,
What
so
do
it's
we
not
want?
it's not a travel agency. It's a penny auction. We
Okay, so we're
just
gonna put
selling
auction.
travel. We just selling somebody else's travel services.
Okay, so we can put auction services, right?
Yeah.
So now you got auctioneers, appraisers, estates, home
Auctioneer.
demolition. I'm going to use auctioneers. So now we're going to look in Georgia. And what county would you want to look in?
I live in Cherokee.
Okay, Cherokee County. All right, neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now I'm going to hit view results. All right, so we got 5 results. Right? And so you got executive auctions, free home. So is there anybody here that you want me to click on?
I'm just gonna be nosy. Go do the free home auction of Woodstock.
Well, that's the research means we all nosy. That's what the research is. So you got a license to be nosy now. All right, so free home auction of Woodstock. This their address, telephone number. They don't have a website, looks like. At least they don't show it here. Scroll down, and here is the SIT code they're using as auctioneers.
Okay, so, yeah.
Here's their Nexus, and here's what the description is. So it's important to not only write down the SIT code number, but also the description. You'll see the description is different. Sometimes the Nexus code is a lot more general. So in this case, it says all other professional, scientific, and technical, whereas SIT code says auctioneers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's 541-99002.
Yeah.
So as we scroll down, it's 1 to 4 employees. They made $159,000 in doing what they do.
Yeah.
They've been in the database for 14 years. And the last time this was updated was June 2024. Right? Well, I scroll down some more. You'll see their budgeting. How much they're budgeting for accounting? Between $500 and $1,000. Contract labor, legal, office equipment. So this again give you some idea as when you start looking at your budgets, what you should be, what range should you be looking for, and what categories might be important to you. I'll scroll down some more. Here's their sales by volume. They start off in 2021 in the database, and they just been booming ever since, up to almost 300,000, 200,000, 159. I'll scroll down. These are employees. As they grew their business, they grew their employees, but they kind of leveled off. They got as much as the 3 employees, but they now down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll down some more. We're gonna go down to the businesses that are near them. They may be home based. I didn't take a look at that, but these are the businesses that are near them. Marketing programs, window treatment, attorneys, plumbing agencies, counseling services, security guard service. So again, they're thinking about where they want to locate themselves. They want the foot traffic for their nearby businesses to see their signage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at the competitors report once again. And this is where I love, because I want to see what these other competitors, what SIT codes beyond the auctioneers are they using. So you see anybody here you want me to click on?
Let's go with Georgia Auctioneers.
Georgia Auctioneers, Marietta. And once again, here's their information, their location information, include their website. I'm going to go down to their profile. They're using the same SIC code and access number, nothing additional. And they have 10 to 19 employees, and look at there, $1.3 million that they made.
Mhm.
They've been in this database for 7 years. And the last time it was October, it was updated was October. For 7 years, they made $1.3 million. Not bad.
Right.
And this kind of stuff makes you feel like, you know what? I am in the right area. I am going to do good. It inspires you. They made $1 million, but look at how different their budgets are. $1,000 to $2,000, $1,000 to $2,500 in the county.
Yeah.
$10,000 to $50,000 in contract labor. They got to pay these people.
Yeah.
Legal, right? So there.
Mhm.
Scroll down. They started in 2020, and they just been doing leaps and bounds of business. Maybe I need to start an auction business right along with you, right? Right? Oh, I'm really
It's
right.
actually not a bad business, especially if you already a real estate agent.
All right. Anybody else want me to try them? I know we're 8 o'clock, so please, stick around. One more person. Hope that was helpful, Alicia.
Thank you.
Tashina. One more person that might want me to do theirs. Going once, going
Try the
twice.
coaching.
Okay, coaching.
Yes, please.
And I want y'all to hang around because I want to show you all how you download information. So stick around. So give me a few more minutes. So, all right. So we're going to hit keyword, right, for the SIC code. And then we're going to come down to geography and hit county. And I'm going to do coaching. Okay. So I'm going to hit search. All right. So it's coaches. Is there coach trimmers? Financial coaching, life coaching. Can we hit life coaching?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do life coaching, and I'm gonna scroll down. And by the way, if there was other things that I did, I might want to click on multiple things. Right?
Oh, okay.
You can do that. But in this case, just because you're learning, you may only want to do one thing at a time. I'm gonna come down to Georgia, and what county we're gonna look at?
Let's look at Fulton.
All right, Fulton, and I'm gonna hit view results. All right, so we got 5 results: Transitions Incorporated, Sweetwater, Practice, Operation New Life. Which one would you like me to click on?
Maybe Living Well.
Okay, Living Well. All right, so as we look at that, here's the location information for Living Well, their website, telephone number. If I scroll down, here is the SIC code. So the SIC code description is counseling transformation services. And the corresponding Nexus code is 624-19041. And the description is other individual and family services. You see how broad that description is, but it might be what you do or what they say you do for your competitors. So 832288 is your SIC code, and counseling transformation services is the description. All right. In some cases, you can do, take your phone out and do a screenshot of this stuff. Okay. If it's I'm going too fast for you. All right. So in this case, they have 1 to 4 employees, and they have $292,000 of sales volume.
Wow.
Private company. They've been in database for 15 years. And the last time it was updated was December 2024. So pretty current, right?
Mm-hmm.
One person is running it, Michael. as background. I scroll down. This is the accounting and budget for that business for him. So he made $200,000, and his accounting is $100 to $2,500 for accounting. Contract labor, maybe he has multiple people working with him. Can't do it all, right? I'm going to hire some people.
So I'm assuming that they're getting this information from them registering their business and filling out their taxes. How are they?
I can't tell you. I
Okay.
opened up by saying I don't know where they get this information from. It could be IRS. It could be they bought it from the business offices of their county. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, again, one of your participants found themselves in here, and they're like, "Where did they get the information from?" I'm now mad. I need to find out who's selling my information. Well, your information might get sold too.
Okay.
All right. So sales volume, they started in 2016, and they just been growing.
Oh, wow.
All up to over 400,000. Over $400,000, one person. $400,000 in 2018. $400,000 in 2019, probably running the same clients. And then something happened in 2023 where it dropped. But it's still between 300 and 400,000. One person. Can you work with that?
I sure can.
So here's the employees. So he had multiple employees. So, he went all up to 6 employees, making over 400,000. Then it dropped. He was still making over 400,000. Turned to employees. Then went back up. Now it's down to 4 employees. If I scroll down, let's look at the nearby businesses near his office. What type of foot traffic is watching his business, going past it? So you got some beauty salons, a music instructional place, Atlanta Free Thought Society, some type of organization. An acupuncturist is near him. People are doing hair replacement. A psychologist is near him. So once again, I would take a look at multiple competitors and see, are there any similarities on the types of businesses that are around them that's helping them become very successful. Let's look at the competitors report. Who is this person's competitor? And I'm also interested in the area. So you see anybody that you want me to click on? You got Smyrna, Lawrenceville, you got Duluth, you got Kennesaw.
Maybe Johns Creek.
Focus direction. All right. So focus direction. Again, that's their location information. I scroll down and they're still using the same SIT code, only one.
Okay.
I was looking for people using multiple ones, but again, when you start practicing on this, you're going to find other SIT codes to give you some ideas and say, maybe I need to use that SIT code too. All right, so they got 5 to 9 employees and they made $365,000. They got the business database for 8 years. The last time this was updated for them was June 2024. We'll scroll down some more. Again, here's their business expenditures range, accounting, and contract labor. You can see the amount of money they're paying out based on the amount of money they got coming in. If I scroll down some more, again, you can see their sales by volume. So they started off 2018, got all the way over 400,000. They've been about 400,000, and recently they've come down a little bit. They also have had up to 6 people employed, and recently they're coming down just a little bit. Maybe they're around 5 or so. Okay. All right. So now what I want to show you all is I'm going to go back to the front and I want to show you if I want to download information. How do we download information and get have an Excel spreadsheet on this stuff? So I just want to show you all that, and then I'm going to let you all go. All right. So in some cases, you all might have 35 results, right? So you have 20. What happens is it will only have 5 pages per 25 entries per page. So if I want to download the 30 results, I will have to hit this button, which is going to select all, and just imagine there's 25 listed here. And then they will have another page for me to go to that I will click on, and then I would download the remaining 5 for 30 total, right? If I want to download everything. If I just want to download one page, and I would just download one page. If I only want to download certain people, then I can select the certain people I want to download, right? So now I'm going to select download, this download button, to download all 5 of those results into an Excel spreadsheet. When I click those results, it's going to say, okay, do you want the most popular Excel spreadsheet? Then yes, right? It's going to say, do you want a summary? I'm going to scroll this down. Do you want a summary of information, right? Well, I don't want a summary. I want everything that you got. So I'm going to hit detail. Okay. Once you hit detail, I then hit download records. Right. So when I hit download records, it's downloading now, but for the sake of time, I'm going to show you all what it's going to look like. So I already have an Excel spreadsheet from a different business, right? So I'm going to stop sharing this so I can bring the other one up. So y'all can see what a download would look like. So let me go ahead and open up this other one. And give it a second as I pull up. Click on it. Okay. So as you all can see here, it will give you the company name. I can't remember what type of business this is, but it will give you the company name listed here. And again, this is probably 100. Oh, no, there's 30 names here. And I'm just going to scroll. It's going to give you the same information that we saw, the location information, the business demographic, and so on and so forth. But it's all put together on an Excel spreadsheet. So as I scroll, it's going to be a lot of information I'm scrolling around. So again, this is a person's their name, their title, their business, the location, address. And as I keep scrolling, you'll see the metropolitan Atlanta they're in, their neighborhood, their telephone number. I'm going to keep scrolling. There's their email addresses, their websites, their primary SID code here. So this everybody's listed their primary SID code. In this case, this first one is a consignment shop. I think this is a SID code for consignment shops that I did an example of. Somebody was open up a consignment shop and I used their example. But they're one of the competitors is a consignment shop, but their primary business is a gift shop. The next competitor is a consignment shop. This next competitor does tuxedos. But of course, that's tuxedo rental, which is kind of sort of like a consignment shop, right? So again, that's their primary SID code. But as you know, or would know, most businesses have multiple SID codes. So you have a secondary SID code. If you're looking at Walmart, how many SID codes does Walmart have? Well, they sell perfume, they sell clothes, they sell food, they sell, a bunch of different things. So these competitors of yours are going to have multiple SID codes possibly because they may sell other things. As I keep scrolling down, they're going to have matching up or corresponding Nexus code, which is right here. So if this is a consignment shop, the Nexus code that they're using, the description is used merchandise, whereas the SID code, the description was consignment shop. The second one, SID code, was called gift shop. The consignment code for that one was gift and novelty. So I just want to let you guys know again that your SID code and your Nexus code, they're going to have corresponding codes, and it's important for you to know what the description they're using. All right, as I keep going, the things that I downloaded, here's the other thing. The location employee. In this case, they said they have 1 to 4 employees. But when I downloaded it, it actually told me the exact number of employees they have is 3. This one says they have 5 to 9 employees. The exact number they have, 5. So when you download the information, they don't give you their range, just the range. They give you the actual information. So if I scroll down some more, it says, well, here's the location range of volume. They did $5 to $10 million as a range. But how much did they really do? 9.7 million. This other one said they did less than 500,000 as a range. But when I download this information, it told me exactly how much they made, 445,000. Right? This one did 2.5 million to 5 million. Well, how much did they really do? $3 million. So that becomes the exciting part. Of course, there's a lot more other information that's listed here. I'm not going to go through all that other stuff to download. But when I ask them to download everything, I'm going to stop sharing this and go back to my presentation. Uh-oh. Reference. Uh-oh. Oh, this. I'll put that back up. So once again, when I asked them to download information, and one of the toggles was summary or detailed, once I get good at this, I might do summary and know exactly what I want them to detail, what I want them to download. Maybe just the name, their SIC code, and maybe how much money they made, how many employees. Maybe that's all I'll care about. But until you get used to it, download everything. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing this. I hope you all got something out of this. Let me, you guys gave me 16 extra minutes. I appreciate that. Let me just go ahead and finalize my presentation like I normally do and let you know what's coming up on Monday. Okay. Okay. So in this presentation that you all will get, it's still loading, so bear with me for a couple seconds. Okay, there we go. Okay, so in this presentation, you're going to see exactly how I tell you to put your login information in your library. You're going to select the first database, which is U.S. businesses. You're then going to select custom search. Now, in the case of, let's say, Kimberly, if Kimberly wanted to find that Jacksonville company, she might decide, I'm going to use this first page, and I'm going to see if I can find that Jacksonville company that I know do boiled peanuts. And I might click on view results, and they may pop up. I have to fill this information out, what I know about that company. But when they pop up, I might then go down and look up their SIC code to see what SIC code they're using, if it's different than the nuts edible one, right? But for most of you all, we're going to select custom search. Once you do custom search, you're going to open up business type and click on SIC code. Then you're going to open up business geography and click on that. Once you click on SIC code, you're going to put in a keyword to help you find your SIC code if you don't currently know it. And then once again, you're going to look at the results that it gives you based on your search on a geographic area, such as your county or your city or whatever. And again, you can guys go ahead and click through all of these. Again, I just want to give you all something to remember from our actual going through the motions of the database. Okay. So as a recap, we talked about your competition profile. Your homework assignment will be to come up with who you think right now your competition is. And if you decide to utilize this database and go through your library and find some additional competition, fine, do that. We talked about why it's important to understand your industry. What's that industry overview would look like? And then again, we went into reference solutions, data access solutions, what their new name is. Some key takeaways is about research. Research. The day one of our course, we talked about research. We asked you to find out who your customer, what their problem is, what's the solution they're looking for, and what's your revenue. The reason why I had you all do that was because I wanted you all to do some research and find some fun in it, right? So now you're finding out. I'm hoping some of you all got some excitement, had some aha moments to say, aha, I didn't know that. Oh, that's interesting. So that you all can really start understanding the value of researching your industry. So that's one takeaway. Understand your SIC code, your standard industry classification code. Why is that important to you? And you're going to know that for the rest of your business life. Know who your competition is and learn about their business. Somebody, I think it was Tashina, said, let's go ahead and snoop around, right? Yeah, snooping is your friend. Let's do some snooping around today. Know the types of businesses that's around your competitors because they are the ones that's helping the foot traffic build their business up. So find out what's in common with some of your competitors so that if you start looking and putting your business together in some location, you want to have similar businesses around you. Again, find your direct competitors or your primary competitors. Find your indirect competitors or your secondary competitors. And then know the amount of money that's being spent in your market so you can figure out what is your real target, like I showed you all before. All right, so this is the end of session 6. The homework is to find your SIC code. The homework is to make some decisions to try out reference solutions. And then continue working on not only all the homework I gave you before, but start working on your competition as well. That will be due on Monday. On Monday, we're going to be having a guest speaker. I'm going to go over the homework assignment like we do normally do the review, but we're going to have a guest speaker. His name is Vince Dorville, and he's going to be talking to you all about digital marketing, right? I'm also going to talk a little bit more about financials. So, talk about how spending money is helping you win money. So we have to spend money in our costs and our, getting our product and service together in order for us to make money. All right, that is it. I'm gonna stop sharing. That's a lot. It's 8:22. You guys gave me 22 more minutes of your time. I really appreciate it. Was this a good presentation for you guys?
Yes.
Yes,
Good.
I'm glad you showed us somewhere where we could find the competition and NACA stuff because it's expensive everywhere else.
That's right. That's
I've
right. You
been
found
looking
a free
and
resource.
they like, here, you want 1,000 of these? Here, it's $1,000. What?
Hey, you know what? That is their business. Their business because a lot of them don't know about reference solutions, right? So it's VA. Knowledge is power. If you don't know it, then you're gonna pay for it.
And the first 20 things that come up in Google are businesses. Ain't no free stuff, period. They like, nah, you gonna pay for this?
Gonna pay for it, right? I would do that, right? I would say, look, do you want me to find your competitors? Pay me. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna come right to Reference Solutions because they don't know about it. I'm gonna find all their competitors and I'm gonna give it to them and they're gonna pay me, right? That's a business.
Yeah. If they was doing the work, I would feel like that. But it's literally a search like the one you were saying. They just charging you to do it. You gotta do the work yourself.
That's just like Kimberly and her peanuts. Some people want the peanuts, but they don't want the work to put them together, right? They want to find somebody to do it, right? But if Kimberly's gonna put in the work,
if they gonna do the work, I'm willing to pay them. But this is not them doing the work. They want me to do the work, and they just want me to pay or come on their site. It's a free one. I just got offended.
All right, everybody. Any other questions about tonight's presentation? If not, I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Have a
Hope
good
you have
one.
a great Valentine's weekend.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.